Hello, YouTube friends. This is Roxy, Firewife Lawyer Mom. And guess what? The long-awaited 21-22 school year curriculum is here. And I cannot wait to share with you what we're going to be using for our curriculum for our second homeschool year. Today, it's all about first grade. So get ready. Let's do it.
With every day you feel yourself getting closer. No looking back, keep pushing on till you get there. Yeah, you're gonna get there. No, 'cause nothing good has ever come easy. We come too far to give up now.
Hi everybody, welcome. My name is Roxy and welcome to Firewife Lawyer Mom. I'm so excited that you've tuned into my channel today. And today we're going to be doing a curriculum overview of what I'm going to be using next year. But before that, I want to let you guys know that I have started this channel right when I began my homeschooling journey. We are pandemic homeschoolers, meaning that because of the global pandemic, we decided to take on this journey of homeschooling. We have absolutely loved it. We think that the Lord has taken us down this journey because He felt that it was best for our family, for our children to stay home, and we cannot be more excited and more proud of all of the successes that we have had with homeschooling thus far. And I just can't wait to continue to share with you this journey. So if you enjoy these videos, please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you know when I make a new video. I'm going to be coming up with a series on how to organize your homeschool year from soup to nuts. Because if you are somebody who is a first-year homeschooler, you are going to feel like I felt at some point when I was like, okay, I've decided to homeschool, now what do I do? What have I gotten myself into? So I'm going to take everybody down the way that I plan my homeschool year all in advance so that when August comes, which is when we start our homeschooling, that I'm ready to hit the ground running and I'm open and go. So stay tuned for that. For today, it's all about first grade. Let's get into my curriculum picks. Now, before I turn the camera around, I'm going to be doing flip throughs. So you're going to see some of the curriculum. Now, I didn't flip through them too much in depth because I didn't want to make the video too long. But if you are going through this video and you see any of the curriculum, they're like, hey, can you kind of do a little more flip through on that? Please leave it in the comments below because I would love to do an extra video if I need to on the curriculum. One of the things that I feel is so beneficial to the homeschooling community is when people do videos on flip-throughs because it so much saves time and money for me to be able to kind of look through a curriculum, even though I don't have my physical hands on them, but to at least look through them to see if they would work for me and my family. So I'm absolutely here for you. If you want me to do a video like that, please leave it in the comments below. But let's get started with first grade. So now I'm going to show you guys first the core spine curriculum that I'm going to be using. Then after that, I'm going to go through what I'm going to be using and supplementing this spine curriculum with, just kind of sprinkling it around like confetti. All right, so let's get this party started. All right, guys, so here we have what I'm going to be using for my first grader. And so I'm going to go through each of the curriculum and I'm going to go through it in sections, basically going through what I'm doing for math, what I'm doing for language arts, what I'm doing for writing, all of those kinds of things. And so I'm also going to flip through so you guys can get a little glimpse of what the curriculum looks like. But I just wanted to show you guys as a whole. Now, this curriculum is not the whole thing that I'm using. I also have some resources from Teachers Pay Teachers that I'm going to kind of supplement as well. But these are basically my spines of what I'm going to be doing. So I'm going to start, put the camera down and start the flip through. All right, everybody. So I'm going to start with my logic and critical thinking workbooks. So what I really have found in my research is that logic and critical thinking are two really important skills that I want my children to learn because they are going to serve them in all areas of their homeschooling or their schooling journey. And so I like to get these workbooks that have to do with critical thinking and logic skills in order to kind of build that part of their brain so that they can use their critical thinking skills to help them solve problems in different areas. And so I like to use this book here, which is Thinking Skills. Now, what I do is I will take this workbook and I will basically unbound it. So I will remove all of the sheets and I will just disperse these out throughout the year. So we're not going to be doing this every single day. It's going to be in a rotation, and I'm going to show you the rotation. So the first thing I like is this Building Thinking Skills by Sandra Parks and Howard Black. And this is great. It's descriptive question and answer strategies. And so what I love is that it goes through all different types of areas where you can have thinking skills. It goes through math, science, and social studies. So I'm going to show you a little bit of what it looks like inside. And as you can see, the table of contents, and you could take a screenshot if you'd like, but it talks about following directions. So identifying first to last. Then it goes into figural similarities and differences. So it just helps them to have that critical eye that I believe they're going to need in a lot of test taking skills later on in life, and a lot of just problem solving that they may need to use. And so I love using these thinking skill workbooks because it helps them to be able to hone these skills. And so as you can see, it has all different activities that they do. Now this builds in levels, and I also have one for my fourth grader, my incoming fourth grader as well. So as the books go on in levels, they do get harder. But I really, really love this book. I think it has such a great, they're just little logic games that you play and that you do as you're going through the workbook. So I absolutely love this. Now also for logic, I love to use word searches. Now, I truly believe I'm a huge fan of word searches. I know it's kind of old school, but I'm an old school gal. And I truly believe there is a lot of value in doing crossword puzzles and word searches because it helps you not only to recognize words and what, to read for reading purposes, but also it helps with spelling, because if you are able to find that word and circle that word, it does something to your brain that it kind of singles it out. And I don't know, I've just done some research on these crossword puzzles. So I found this amazing series, and it has for every grade level, and it's word searches for first grade. And they have all the way up till, I believe, 5th or 6th grade. I do have a 4th grade one for my older daughter. But as you can see, because it's only first grade, the words are not going to be, it starts really simple. So just, 3-letter words, and then it kind of builds in itself and starts to get more difficult. Now, I know that for some of them, I'm probably, my first grader has never done crossword puzzles before. This is the first time I'm going to be introducing it. So I know I'm going to have to do these with her for the first few months, and that's totally okay. But I really want her to get into doing crossword puzzles, because I truly believe that there have been people that have learned the English language doing things like crossword puzzles, word searches, all those kinds of things. So this is an awesome resource as well. And then the last thing that I'm using for logic is mind benders. I absolutely love mind benders because they work on deductive thinking skills, which is a very different animal than critical thinking skills, because what they have to do is they have to read these clues and deduct what it is deduct these facts so that they can figure out what the answers are. It's really cool. Because I really believe that this kind of stuff helps with multiple choice questions when they get older. And this is because I got to tell you guys now, I was in a graduate school. I had to take the LSAT. I'm a lawyer, and I also had to take the Florida bar and a lot of other tests. And if I would have known the skills for taking multiple choice questions, I think it would have really improved my stress level in preparing for exams, because a lot of times you can know all of the information, but if you're not proficient in doing multiple choice questions, in deducing, in singling out what is a wrong answer versus a right answer, then it's going to be more difficult. And so I really believe that if I help them to learn these skills now, they're going to be second nature in the future. And so I love this because it's basically a chart, and you have people and you have animals, and then it'll say the names of the women's pet and the boy's pet rhyme. So you have to use that clue to deduce who these people are. So what you're trying to figure out here is to solve whose animal belongs to which person. And so that's what you use the clues for. It really is amazing, and I totally recommend this. Again, they have different levels. My older daughter does these as well, and they're just really fun little deductive thinking skill logic games. So that's what I have for logic. So now we're going to kind of get into what I call the core. My homeschool is divided into 4 areas. It's divided into circle time. It's divided into family subjects, and then my 2 girls have each core subjects. And so that's how I divide my homeschool. I feel like it's the easiest way, and I'll do some more videos on getting into how I take the subjects and divide them into those 4 areas. So let's start first with grammar. And this is basically going to be grammar and language arts all together. And I'm going to show you what I have. Now, again, I want you guys to understand, you see a lot of curriculum that I'm pulling out here. Don't think that I'm going to be doing this all day, every single day, all of these subjects. I disperse these subjects throughout the year. I sometimes do, I do one of the curriculums I'll do twice a week. Another curriculum I'll do 3 times a week. Another one I'll do once a week. Sometimes I will split the curriculum and do, let's say, this the first half of the year and something else the second half of the year. So don't be alarmed that you see all of this stuff and think, well, when do I have time to do it? I do, because of the way that I divide everything into the 38 weeks that I homeschool. So this is what I use for grammar. First, language lessons for the well-trained mind. Now, this is by Jessie Wise. Now, we are a classical, it's kind of weird. I'm a little bit classical, a little bit Charlotte Mason. I'm kind of all over the eclectic, I guess is what they call it. But I really love the classical approach for grammar. I used the level 3 last year with my older daughter, and I really loved it. What's great about it is that it comes, the other levels, like I think level 2, 3, and 4, or level 3 and 4, I think, are the ones that have a workbook that the students work on. And so this is great because it breaks everything down into lessons, and the lessons are really short. I would really say that for my older daughter, and probably it's shorter here, it took me about 10 to 15 minutes to teach a lesson. So it's really short, and it goes through all of the grammatical information that you need to know, the parts of speech, all of those kinds of things. And so it is divided into short lessons. Let me show you a little bit of what the lesson looks like. It has a lot of dictation, but what I love the most for a busy mom like me is that it has a script, okay? You literally read it to your child, you ask your child certain questions, it gives you what the proper answers would be, and so this is truly open and go. I never had to prepare for these lessons. I just opened it up and began teaching. So I really, really love that about this grammar program. And what I feel is that I am very confident and comfortable that my child is getting everything they need to learn with regard to parts of speech and grammar from this curriculum, and I absolutely love it. So now I'm going to move on to my reading curriculum. So my daughter is a little bit of a struggling reader, and so I searched high and low because we used Alpha Phonics for reading, which I absolutely loved. And Alpha Phonics has served us very, very well for beginning the reading journey of my daughter. However, I wanted to get something that was a little bit more hands-on, because Alpha Phonics, although it's great, it does not offer a lot of hands-on. And I found myself doing a lot of supplementing with things from Teachers Pay Teachers so that I can help kind of bring that reading learning alive. And so this time around, when I did my research, I said, let me find something that's good for hands-on readers. So all of the reviews, and I tell you, when I do curriculum reviews, I spend a lot of time looking at every single video I could find that does flip throughs. And I found that a lot of people love All About Reading for those kinesthetic learners. And what I love is that it's a little bit pricey. Okay, so I don't love that, but I think it's a good investment for what you're going to be getting. And so what it does is it gives you a teacher's manual, and it is a multi-sensory program, and it has step-by-step lesson plans. Now, what I have been told about this product is that it is very open and go, that it tells you exactly what you need, and then it gives you exactly what to read before you begin the lesson. But I love that it's in color. I love that it goes and it breaks it down. And I'm not going to pressure my daughter into doing a lot of this, but as far as, making her finish every single lesson. But what I love is you can it basically uses these letter tiles, which all come in here, and they're magnet tiles, and it actually helps the child see and learn how to do it in a kinesthetic way, where they can, touch and feel the letter tiles, put the words together. And I absolutely love it. Let me just show you guys the table of contents real quick. If I could flip through it. So I think it just goes step by step through each of the letters. It talks about, it gives you all of the readers that you're going to read, all of the stories you're going to read. And here comes all of the little phonics cards that you're going to use for teaching the program. And you cut these all up, and it comes with a little box. I got the complete set. I wanted to just get everything I needed to get. So I got the complete set. I think there's a set that's below this one that doesn't include either the magnet tiles or something. But this is the activity book for the kids. And I love it because it's extremely colorful. My daughter loves the colorful stuff. And it has everything that I feel is going to help her with her reading. She does struggle in it, and I've just heard that so many wonderful things about this program just by the fact that it brings that hands-on learning, and I really, really love that. And it also comes with the readers, which are super beautiful. This is one of the readers. And like I said, it's everything you need is in these little readers. And I love that because we did a lot of Bob books last year, this past year. And, just carrying all of those Bob books around was kind of a challenge. So I kind of like this, that it's just all in one book, and you've got all of the stories here, and they're very colorful, very beautiful, and simple, easy stories that they can really build their confidence in reading. Because I think that's one of the things I want my daughter to have, not only better fluency, but also just being confident that she's doing a good job in reading, and that she can read something that's at her level, and that she is able to read and read successfully. So that's what we're doing for reading. Now for our spelling program, I am going back to what I have done, what I did my first year of homeschooling, and that is spelling UC. I absolutely love this program. I think it is amazing. I'm just so in awe at what this program does, because it doesn't just teach them these 10 words that they will then forget and then get a new 10 words, and they will never learn the rules of spelling if you do it that way, or at least that has been my experience. Now, for some people, it works. For some people, their kids can thrive off of that style. But for me, I just feel like spelling is so important, especially in the professional life. You really want your children to be confident spellers. And the only way I feel is if they learn the spelling rules. And so this program, this is the packet it comes with, these amazing colored pencils, which you can really get these anywhere. You don't have to get it, but it doesn't really make a difference in price. So I just throw them in anyways, and they're erasable, so it's fine for me. But basically it comes with this instruction handbook, and so the instruction handbook just kind of gives you it gives you the words that you're going to be dictating. So it starts with just giving you some background on the program, on how it works, on how the spelling rules are going to be learned. And so what it does is it goes through, for example, different spelling rules. And so what you do in the program, and here's just a breakdown of some of the lessons. But what you do is you basically break down the spelling rules into different chunks and different colors. So you have consonant chunks, so it teaches the children that they have these special consonants that come together and make certain sounds or do certain things. And so it teaches them to identify them by coloring in blue where they see those in paragraphs. The same thing for the bossy R chunk. So this is where the R takes over and the vowel here are pretty much silent. It's taken over by the R, bossy R. So what the child will do then is they will receive every week. So as they get older, it gets a little more difficult. This is the B. I started with A with my younger daughter, and believe it or not, I couldn't believe how well improved she was. Just so it was so amazing to see her growth in spelling. But basically it starts with copy work, and then it has them identify. So they have their vowel chunk little chart. So they will go through and read this little paragraph, and you can read it with them, obviously, especially if they're struggling readers, and you want them not to have to struggle in actually reading the words, but that they are just focusing on the spelling. So I would help my daughter read, and then she takes the vowel chunks and she would color with the colored pencils where she sees it. So for example, the OU, she would then color that part in. And so it starts, now this is the second part. So the first part starts very simple, and I probably should have started with that, but I am not a professional curriculum demonstrator, I guess you could say, but I'm doing the best I can, folks. So it starts really easy. It just has them copy the sentences. It has them start with 3-letter words. And so basically you would dictate the words, and the teacher's handbook gives you all of the lists of words for each lesson. And they learn first, it keeps the vowel there, but then as you move on to the book, it takes the vowel away, and then they literally have to spell the word from your dictation. This has helped my daughter improve with letter sounds. It's helped my daughter to recognize the sounds at the beginning, the sounds in the middle, and the sounds at the end, which I think is so important for spelling. And so they continue to have their little copy work exercise, and then you do the dictation. And what I love too is that these copy work exercises give them a lot of the old poems that you and I probably used to read when we were in elementary school. But these, I love that it has those old classical type of poems and things like that they can go ahead and just enjoy, and be exposed to, because I think nowadays it's like, the kids just, all of that stuff seems like a forgotten world for our kids these days. So that's what I'm using for spelling. And then for handwriting, we're going to be going with my absolute favorite program, Handwriting Without Tears. I cannot vouch enough for this program. My daughter when I pulled her out of preschool, she could barely write her name. She could barely write her letters. It was really difficult for her. It was a struggle for me. I would get very frustrated. I would cry at night because her handwriting was just difficult to get her to understand the writing of the letters. It was hard for us. Now, of course, my daughter does have some learning challenges, and so that's something, that we had to deal with, that extra hurdle. But this program offers such a great way for children to learn their handwriting skills. Why? Because it basically allows the child to only focus on letters that give them the same strokes, that they have to do the same strokes when they are doing those letters. So for example, here are the diver letters. So this is kind of the table of contents, just so you guys can see it. All right, it starts with capitals, and so everybody, focuses just on the capitals. Then it goes into the lowercase letters, but then it goes into the diver letters. So these are all the letters that you have to dive. So even, when you start doing your capital letters, it divides the capital letters into the way that they are written, and that they pretty much groups them into similar ways that they are written. I don't know how to explain that really, but it's just a great program. I absolutely love it. It's very, very slow pace. It's just not frustrating at all. In fact, my daughter loves doing it. She actually loves doing this program. So that's what I'm doing for handwriting. Now for vocabulary and phonics, I'm going to be using the 240 vocabulary words that kids need to know. And again, this is something I'm just gonna throw around sparingly, but basically it gives you a set of words, and you will have to do different activities and with regard to those words. So it's very basic and simple for kids. And I love vocabulary. I think kids need to learn it, as young as they can. I think this only it starts in grade 1, but it is a great program, and it just kind of talks about opposites and just different ways that you can use the words, things that are similar to that word, things that sound like that word. And so it gives you, like I said, a little word bank. And so I'll probably have her do this casually. It's not going to be something that I'm going to stress too much. I also, just to supplement, I love Success with Grammar by Scholastic. I love this because it really does go along with the standards of the grade. And so I find that this pairs pretty well with my first language lessons, because the first language lessons, I feel like it's more so lessons and not so much practical kind of working with the grammar rules. And so this I like to use to just give her a couple of little things for her to do to kind of reinforce what we're learning in first language lessons. And so it goes through, I'm going to show you the table of contents real fast, but basically shows all of the different parts of speech and things that it tells, that it teaches. I'm also going to sparingly use Explode the Code. This is for phonics. I have heard amazing things about it. So I am very excited to use this program because I have heard kids love it. I've heard that mothers love it, and that teachers love it, moms love it, dads love it. Everybody loves this program. So, again, these are just things I'm going to throw around. Sometimes, if we're going on vacation and I wanted them to have a little bit of something, for them to do that's educational, I'll use these kinds of little worksheets to supplement. So I just really wanted to try it out. Then for phonics, like my actual phonics program is going to be Plaid Phonics. And I absolutely love Plaid Phonics. I think it is a very solid program for phonics. I think that, it's tried and true. It's been used forever. It's by Pearson, and it has very, very colorful activities that teach the phonics rules, and it has just a lot of fun things. Now, I got the teacher's manual. You don't absolutely need it. If you are on a budget and you don't want to spend the money, it's fine. What I get it for mainly is because it has all of the answers, so I'm able to check, and it also has the little unit tests as well for you to be able to give your child. If you like to be somebody who tests and assesses their knowledge, then this would be a good thing to have as well. And so it has also like a lot of different suggestions on how to teach it, but it's more so like a guide for you to teach them. But it's not really like a lesson plan or like a script or anything like that. It's just basically kind of a teacher's guide type of thing. So that's for phonics. And last but not least, one thing I did get with first language lessons is their CD, the audio companion. And what I love is that it has all of the different rules of grammar set to song. And so I'm thinking I'm going to play this in the car, probably, when we're going to extracurricular activities or whatnot. But I'm going to put this in the car so that they can she can kind of listen to it, maybe start learning and memorizing the songs. I absolutely love incorporating music into learning. It's just so great. The last thing that I have here is my math program. So what am I going to be using for math? Tried and true Saxon Math. And I cannot tell you enough. If it was not for, and I'm going to kind of move the camera a little bit back. If it was not for Saxon Math, for my fourth grader, well, my third grader at the time, I don't know if I would have survived teaching math, to be honest with you, because it's just an amazing program, and I'll tell you why. Number one, the lessons, the way that it teaches math, I think is just phenomenal. It's a very step-by-step approach. There are times where I would think, how am I going to teach this? And just going through the script of Saxon Math was like, wow, oh, now I get it. And so it's unbelievable. It's very, very solid. It's a solid math curriculum. You know, with Saxon, you're getting everything that you need to know for that grade level. So I trust it very much. It has been around for a very long time. Now, my daughter is going to be starting with Saxon this year because we used the Moffat Girls program, and we're going to still use the Moffat Girls, and I will show you a little bit about that. But we will still use the Moffat Girls because I love the Moffat Girls Centers. Now that is a site on Teacher Pay Teachers where she has curriculum from, I believe, pre-K all of the way up to third grade. In fourth grade, I think she stops. But what the Saxon program comes with, it comes with a student workbook, which is already a 3-hole punch. So you can put it in a folder, a binder, whatever you want. It comes with this little meeting book. Now, me and my older daughter didn't really use the meeting book too much. It was just very painstaking to use. So this is something that I kind of didn't really do. I don't know if I'll do it this year. I'll let you guys know. But it comes with this meeting book. And so then you kind of go through the calendar and the weather and all that kind of stuff. But we have circle time, so we kind of do that anyway. But, it comes with it, the whole package. Then there is the teacher's guide. This is what I think is the best part of the program. And it is because, as you can see, the lessons are scripted. You literally just read to them what it is that you have to say, what it is that you have to teach, and that's it. It comes up with even the questions you're going to ask the student and what they should answer. It's amazing. And I also love, this is, again, a spiral. They call it the spiral program or curriculum because it is constantly reinforcing skills that is taught. It's not a mastery approach. And I really love it. It has not only the lesson, but before the lesson, you have the meeting if you choose to do that. You can do a weathering graph. You also practice counting. And for the older grades, they will practice skip counting. They will practice multiplication, skip counting, count by 6s to 60, count by 5s to 50, all those kinds of things. So it has little exercises that you would do every day to help them. And then it goes right into, it does have assessments, which are great because you don't have to worry about testing your child. It will test them. I think after about 5 or 6 lessons, it does an assessment. But it is, again, tried and true program. I absolutely love it. And it's just so easy to do. And I am not a big math whiz. I went to law school because I do not like math. So I couldn't go into the sciences because of the math component. I'm not good at math. Again, it also has the worksheets that you assign to them with the answers so you could grade as well. The last thing that I use for math is something that I like to do twice a week, and I do it, I just give her about 2 sheets every time we do it, and it's called mathematical reasoning. And I just think this is an amazing way for kids, again, the critical thinking, the just different approach as to just learning, but it has balance benders, it has all these different activities, count the fruit on the trees, then write the sum of the fruit. And then it just gives them a different way to learn math and how to reason. It teaches them how to think about answering the problems in math. And so I love this. I used this with my daughter, my younger daughter last year. She loved it. She begged me to do it because again, it's so colorful. But again, you see, it just helps them with their mathematical reasoning. Now this book, I think, has like 5 or 6 levels, so you can get it for quite older children too. But it says here, draw an X on the largest ball, circle the smallest ball. So it's also great for following directions, just teaching them to hear something and to do exactly what they are hearing to do. So it's also great to tell them to clean their room and learn how to follow directions there as well. But anyway, so this is also another great book that I use to kind of supplement with math. And it has everything that they need to learn in the math world, but put into these different games and problems and stuff that they have to solve and use their math reasoning to solve. So that's that. All right, everyone. So that is all of the curriculum that I'm going to be using. Now, the only other thing that I do add to what I have is again, like I said earlier, I add the curriculum that's kind of more hands-on to supplement. And so I'm going to share with you the websites that I use for that. I will also link them in the description box below. But for the morning worksheets, I use a teacher called Teeny Tiny Teacher. And that is the name of her Teacher Pay Teacher site. I'm going to link it for you. She provides some great morning worksheets. I also love, I believe it's called, and I'll link it in the description box, but I think it's called like a Wheels on the Preschool Bus or something like that. If you're looking for a preschool / kind of like, you know, early kindergarten type of worksheet, or actually kindergarten as well, I'm going to link that as well. So for my morning worksheet, I use Teacher Pay Teachers. I'm also going to get readers from The Good and the Beautiful. I absolutely love The Good and the Beautiful's reading program, their books, their readers. I love that. There's also another group of readers that I use called the Emergent Reader Series by Flyleaf Publishing. I'm going to link that in the description box as well. So I do add some readers in there, and those we kind of, again, we sprinkle them through bedtime, through, you know, breakfast time. She reads them to me. That's just stuff that we add in. I'm also going to be using the Moffat Girls Math Made Fun, which we'll see it right here, the Math Made Fun curriculum that it was just so great for us last year. I really love this curriculum because it does hit all of the standards. The only thing I didn't like about the Moffat Girls was that the lesson plans, they were not very descriptive. They were kind of really summarized. So I wouldn't recommend for first grade using the curriculum as a standalone. Maybe if you're somebody who kind of struggles in teaching children how to learn the math concepts, if you want something a little bit better, then that's why I'm going with the Saxon Math. But for the hands-on centers is what I'm mainly getting the Math Made Fun for. The centers she uses are phenomenal. It really brings the learning alive, and I absolutely love it. The next thing I'm going to be using with Moffat Girls is their grammar, her grammar program, and her reading curriculum program. And again, this is just to supplement. So we'll probably do it like on Fridays. We'll have like a center day or a hands-on day where all we're doing is learning on, you know, working on centers and playing little games and doing all those kinds of things. So again, please don't feel overwhelmed by all of the stuff that you saw. Again, don't use everything in one day. I spread it out through 38 weeks. So it is a lot of stuff, but I like to get everything ahead of time so I can plan it all. And it works. It works for me. And you know, sometimes we don't finish everything, and that's totally okay. I'm not really pressuring myself into saying I've got to finish everything, but I really feel that the curriculum picks we have are strong. So if you like this video, please hit the like button. If you want more, please subscribe, because I am going to be bringing out my 4th graders curriculum. I'm just waiting for one more thing to come in. The shipping has been really slow this year, so I'm waiting for one more thing to finish that and get that out to you. But if you have any questions, if you suggest anything different, or if you have any reviews or anything that you want to talk about with regards to what I shared today, please leave it in the comments below. I love for this to be a wonderful community for us all, so we can help each other and bring each other closer to our goals for homeschooling. We are all a team. It's a team effort. And I just want to thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.